focus on oil first. You have targets such as export facilities, crude oil export facilities, terminals. Then you have refineries, and then you also have production fields. So if you're going to go for export terminals, that naturally is going to be, the target that hits the regime, it hits the government the most, because as I said, that's where the export revenue comes from. When it comes to also terminals, you have one major terminal. This is the Kharg terminal in the Persian Gulf. This is, the terminal which is responsible for 90+% of Iran's exports. That's where all these exports come from. So if we're in a situation where that is hit, obviously we're in a situation where we could see 1.5 million barrels per day plus of Iranian oil exports shut in. So will that impact Iran? Yes, massively, but that will also impact the global market. That will impact the United States, who has a election coming up. It'll impact oil prices, maybe not in the long term, because you could see OPEC plus bringing back some barrels, but in the short term, you will see prices rising. So there's that option. When it comes to refineries, personally, I feel like this makes more sense. If they're going to hit something, energy has been off the table so far. But if they hit a refinery, the impact will be symbolic in that it tells Iran, look, we are prepared to hit you where it hurts without full-scale escalation by way of impacting and hurting the people and the economy. Because hitting one refinery is going to impact local supply of product. That's right, that's fair, but Iran can manage. And also it depends on which facilities it hits. If it hits the Abadan refinery, which is the biggest refinery, it's going to have an impact, but a minimal one. It'll be primarily to the domestic market. But if you hit a refinery such as Bandar Abbas, or you hit Persian Gulf Star, these are the major gasoline producing refineries, where in Iran, gasoline is, I wouldn't say in short supply, but definitely we're in a situation of shortage some months. So that could really hurt the people. Is that what the Israelis want to do? I'm not entirely sure. Production is also going to be something of a warning shot if they hit a field, because Iran has many fields. Targeting one or two fields is not going to impact production in a massive way. But again, it's a warning shot. I've heard of people discussing whether gas could be a target. It could. You have gas facilities in the Gulf, in the body of water. But the problem here is that when it comes to gas in particular, hitting a gas production platform or just production in general, that is absolutely going to hurt the people first and foremost. And when you come to listen to what the Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu has been saying, he claims to be with the Iranian people but against the government. But hitting a gas field would go completely against that, because that will see major shortages in a country that is dependent heavily on gas, and the people who are going to hurt most are the people. So I think oil is probably more realistic if they're going to go down that path, and probably a refinery would be the most likely hit, rather than going full force and hitting an export terminal at this point.